So in the interest of time, I broke off everything I had to say about the Xbox Scorpio PX25 9000 into its own separate video. So if you'd like to see Microsoft's last-ditch attempt to save their franchise, that's over there. So we'll start with EA, I guess, because that's what chronologically came first, right? That EA is the only conference I actually didn't watch. Because how much you want to bet that the only big new game that they have to reveal, they're showing off at Microsoft's conference, and how much you want to bet that 50% of it is EA Sports nonsense, and how much you want to bet the rest of it is just Battlefront 2 gameplay reveals that I can watch on YouTube, okay? The only other game that they showed off that I care about is Need for Speed Payback. I've never actually played a Need for Speed, and Forza Horizon 3 has since left my home, and it's really left a racing car void in my heart that I'm going to see if Need for Speed can fill. So I plan on reviewing that when it comes out. And the only other thing worth talking about is Battlefront 2. So, to avoid a Battlefront 1 style failure, EA only has to do a couple things. We know they have single player content, we don't know if it's going to be good, but we know that they have it. Get rid of the casual Call of Duty bullshit, which by re-implementing the class system from the old Battlefront games and not like a choose your loadout style thing, it seems like they are doing. They say they don't even have a season pass, and I doubt that they're going to stick to that they say that they have free DLC. What was the last time somebody said we got free DLC? Well, that would be The Witcher 3, and they had 2 paid DLC packs, so that was kind of a lie. They did have free DLC in addition to the season pass thing, but it was like a quest, an outfit, a beard and hairstyling kit that should have just launched with the game. And I'm not nagging on The Witcher for not having enough content, and I've talked plenty about The Witcher, so you know what I think about that, but my point is, be wary of the free DLC promise you are being made. So we know there's original trilogy content, we know there's prequel trilogy content, and then one with Rey and Kylo Ren, you know, the Star Wars that's currently going on over in the movie universe right now. So if you have as many maps in each of those 3 categories as you did in just the original trilogy and Star Wars Battlefront EA1 that came out in 2015, you were going to have a good amount of content, and that will work for launch. Rainbow Six Siege, I think, is who's doing DLC the best right now. They're releasing maps for free, and then they're releasing new classes, new operators for money, and even they are earnable through in-game currency. Of course, you know, they were until the whole Operation Health thing. Hashtag Operation Health. I think that's what Battlefront should do. I think the new maps should be free, and I think maybe new heroes, skins, costumes, that stuff, that can be earnable within game, yet payable DLC. So if it's like $1 for like a camo on a gun, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? Because not having free maps really splits up your install base, and that's not a good thing for a game that might be bleeding players in a few months. EA, you have to have enough content at launch. Even if your gameplay shooting is much improved and it plays more like it should, instead of this hip fire, aim down the sights, not hit anything bullshit, random, instant die, death simulator, Call of Duty nonsense. Even if it doesn't play like that, and you don't have enough maps, people are going to check out, they'll be like, nope, don't care. You need to have space battles, you need to have good space battles, and through that, fix your shitty flight controls. I should be able to fly an X-Wing in the hangar of a Star Destroyer, go into, like, the core, put a charge on it, blow up the core, and then fly a TIE Fighter out of it as it blows up. I should be able to do that. And if I can, I'm going to be really happy. This is Star Wars, EA. It really shouldn't be that hard, okay? And for a publisher that supposedly has, like, a bunch of Star Wars games in development, the fact that they only showed Battlefront is not looking good, so they're either really far off in development or they're getting canceled and repurposed and stuff, so I don't know. Visceral's supposed to be working on a Star Wars game. They didn't show a lick of that. I personally would really like to see a Republic Commando 2. I already talked about the whole X-Bone Cross thing in a separate video, but there were some games at Microsoft's conference that actually do. The first thing they showed, I think, was Metro Exodus, and that was, I guessed that. So half the fun of E3 is guessing what the games are before the logos come up. So the moment I saw the little watch with the timer, I'm like, Metro 3. I played Metro last night, I finished it, I really liked it, and I'm really looking forward to a sequel. And I think Metro Exodus looks really damn good. Dragon Ball FighterZ also. So I'm a big Dragon Ball Z fan, but all the games have been like this stupid arcadey bullshit nonsense. The only formula I think that works in a Dragon Ball Z game is just a fighter. Just a 1v1 2D fighter. Just Tekken or Mortal Kombat with Dragon Ball skinned over it. That's all I want, alright? And as long as you have cool new graphics, fancy powers, and it's an anime style thing, so it shouldn't be that graphically demanding. But if you can get it running in 1080p 60 FPS on PS4, and if I can play as Beerus and Super Saiyan Blue and all the cool new shit going on in Dragon Ball Super, and it's basically just a Budokai 4, an old school, just bring it back, 1v1, straight up fighter, I'm gonna be super, super happy. Crackdown 3, I don't give a shit about, though. I'd say the 2 games for sure that I'm gonna be reviewing are gonna be Dragon Ball FighterZ and Metro Exodus, so look out for those 2. Why does Bethesda keep having conferences? This, I don't understand. So the first 65% of it was just a jerk-off fest to games that are already out, DLC, and card game bullshit, and they only had 2 new game announcements, to be fair, both of which I am excited for and will review. Evil Within 2, really liked Evil Within 1, really like that kind of horror artistic style vision type deal going on. All they have to do is make the characters more interesting than the bland stereotypes they were in the first game, and I think you'll have a really solid game. Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, is what everybody's losing their shit about, and I feel like people should be really upset about this, because they started it out like it was a new Fallout game, like zooming in slowly with an old-timey song playing. I'm like, oh my god, it's the new Fallout, whatever, and then it was just Wolfenstein. Nothing against Wolfenstein, but Wolfenstein is not Fallout. I liked Wolfenstein The New Order, and I'm gonna play New Colossus for sure, but that's it, though? Just 2 games? You were talked about DLC and shit. Stop promoting DLC at these conferences. We don't care. It's not enough. But no Fallout New Vegas, no Starfield, no... Bethesda has like 3 other big RPGs they say they're working on. One of them not being Elder Scrolls 6, so that means a Fallout and 2 new IPs. And they showed nothing jack shit. Ubisoft. So their little Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle X-kind game looks kind of cute. So Nintendo came to Ubisoft and was like, Mario is going to be the main character of your new game. Mario's name is going to be first in the title of the game. And you are going to show off our game at your press conference first before anything else, or we are not doing a collaboration. So I don't know shit about Rabbids. I confuse that with Rayman Origins. Is that the same thing? Is that a spin-off, or is that something completely different? I don't know. If by chance I have a Nintendo Switch when that game comes out, I will review it. Assassin's Creed Origins looks terrible, looks like shit. So they took a year off to like take the time and get everything right and pick a new setting that's gonna blow everybody away. So here are our options. We could have Japan, feudal Japan, a very stylistic, very brand new, very fresh setting on the other side of the globe that we've never been to before, with beautiful architecture, with very classic, iconic style architecture and towers and castles and stuff, and its own very distinct look, and everybody be tripped out in samurai armor with katanas. It'd look awesome. It would have its own very peaceful, very Serenity style soundtrack with flutes and stuff. There'd be beautiful pink and purple flower gardens everywhere. What a fantastic idea. What a gorgeous setting. Or we could do ancient Egypt, which has sand and half-naked people and camels, and aside from a couple giant triangles, no architecture whatsoever. And we could go for this ugly-ass, muddy, swampy, deserty bullshit aesthetic instead, because that's what people want to see. I don't even know why I'm talking about this in the Ubisoft conference, because they showed a trailer, and everybody keeps showing their own games at other people's conferences, and it's confused me. I forgot to talk about Anthem, because that wasn't shown at EA's conference. So Anthem is the new Destiny in third person, with better graphics, but it's still basically Destiny, and until I see otherwise, I'm not going to have any interest whatsoever. You know, it's your standard sci-fi exosuit in a world full of beautiful trees and wind effects and vegetation, and you're fighting generic-ass little alien monster things. I mean, this is not new, this is not exciting, this has been done a lot already. Yeah, I would really have to know what percentage of this game is story-based, what percentage of this game is just open-world grinding, and what percentage is like generic-ass fetch quest, or if it's interesting side quests. Is it more Fallout? Is it more Destiny? Is it more Horizon Zero Dawn? I don't know. I'd say the most interesting new game that Ubisoft showed off was for sure Skull and Bones, which at first looked so good. Looked like Pirates of the Caribbean, the video game, and you know, Dead Men Tell No Tales being the piece of shit that it was, has really left a void in my heart for, you know, awesome mythical pirate stuff. And the CGI trailer they showed was so good. But then when they showed actual gameplay, it just looked like Black Flag arena multiplayer mode. I would have to know how much of this game is that online multiplayer stuff, how much of this game is open world, and how much of this game is very cohesive narrative storytelling. Because for a game like this, Pirates of the Caribbean showed what awesome, cool, unique, interesting, varied pirate captain characters you can have. So I'm skeptical. It really just looks like an Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag mod, which is disappointing. Its CGI trailer was awesome though, with the cannons going off and the Kraken and the girl and her boobs. You see, I'm not that hard to please, really. Far Cry 5 is not really a surprise because they told us about it right before E3. So, I don't know why they do that. It'd be more fun to... I'm one of the people who likes to keep the surprise and the event of E3 intact. Everybody's like, E3 is an outdated method of revealing your stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but it's fun. I like sitting down in a 2-hour stream and just getting new game trailer after new game trailer and all this new information. I think it's fun. I really like the concept and style of E3, and I hope it doesn't go away. It's usually shit because people don't know what to do with it. Because people don't have as many games as they should. So when they first said American West for Far Cry 5, I was thinking like revolvers and Red Dead Redemption. I wasn't thinking like modern American West. So at least we're away from the Far Cry Primal bullshit and we're back in a setting with lots of guns, so I think we'll be okay. Being the 6th entry in the Far Cry series and having Ubisoft copy that formula for a lot of their other games, this whole climb the tower, reveal the map, see an outpost, take it over formula is gonna get really, really old though, so I hope they switch it up a little. If we could customize ammo types, that'd be cool, like between armor-piercing rounds, incendiary rounds. And I guess the big new surprise, because this game's supposedly been in development for like ever, was Beyond Good and Evil 2. So this is, I hear, a very long, long-awaited sequel. I did not play the first one. I know jack shit about it, except that the pig is from it. That monkey character, though, super annoying, just cussing left and right. That's not a good character. Ubisoft thinks that they could just have people be crazy on meth and dropping F-words left and right, and then that's an automatic Oscar for their character acting. It's like, that's not how it works. Sony! If Sony did one thing better than everybody else, it was just in the pure amount of game trailers and game footage shown to time of conference ratio. They only had their president come on stage like twice. They didn't have a stupid band. They didn't have somebody standing there explaining what PlayStation is to you and what PlayStation is to me and how we can work together to create world peace or some bullshit. They just showed game trailer, game trailer, game trailer, game footage, game footage, game footage, trailer, 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 okay? Now that's how you do E3. They started off with their cool live music thing, even though it wasn't nearly as awesome as last year's God of War. So even if they were at a shortage of new announcements, of new reveals, they still showed a lot of games. Uncharted DLC, Horizon DLC, don't give a shit about. They did show more of Days Gone though, so I'm starting to form a better picture in my mind of what this game's actually about. So it looks like The Witcher 3 with a motorcycle instead of a horse, and with Witcher senses, you know, finding the trail that he left, and then hide in the bushes, generic-ass stealth, take people out, leave traps, and throw rocks to get them to walk over to the traps, and then out of nowhere, like a Left 4 Dead style swarm. So this game isn't doing anything new on its own, but it seems to be combining a lot of other different genres into one cool package, so I am very intrigued, and I'd have to see again percentage story, percentage open world grind. They showed off a bunch of VR games which all look like trash, except for that one with the mouse. That was kind of cute, but other than that, definitely not a convincing argument to lay down another $400. God of War is still king of the show, game of all time, everything. Man, God of War looks good. He's doing like this father-son bonding thing, teaching him how to kill, and they're sailing across the world and finding dragons, all the while his beard is majestically flowing in the wind. This game's gonna be incredible. Sony's the one who got to show off Call of Duty World War II because I guess Sony and Call of Duty are buds now. People have been like, Call of Duty needs to go back to its roots, Call of Duty has to go back to its roots, and now that they finally have, it might be too little too late. I think Activision is going to struggle to get people who already have Battlefield 1 to pick up Call of Duty World War II. Because despite the fact that one is in World War II and one is in World War I, they do seem like very similar games. It will really depend on how much restraint Sledgehammer Games can show to not have a World War II version of every killstreak and perk and thing that is in Infinite Warfare. So now I realize Spider-Man came out before, long before Batman Arkham games, but this really seems like Arkham City plus Mirror's Edge Catalyst, so. Graphics-wise, it looks great. That sequence with the helicopter smashing into all the buildings, I bet that was really, really expensive. That probably cost a few $1 million on its own, like the Uncharted 4 truck chase sequence. But there's a little too much been there, done that, so I don't really have any interest in Spider-Man. So that's E3 for 2017. There have been worse conferences, but there have certainly been better conferences. I think Sony's last year, I think, is the bar that I hold. There's no more Last of Us, so I guess they're saving Last of Us Part 2 for PSX. Sony still wins because they have the most new, exciting, cool-looking games coming up. Oh, Nintendo! I didn't talk about Nintendo! Shit! New Kirby, new Yoshi, 2018. Look like relative rehashes of previous stuff, but hey, new Kirby, new Yoshi games. Showed a lot more Mario Odyssey, and I really do like that hat mechanic with Cappy, but the whole city thing is just so weird to me. Like, I have no problem with this kind of jazzy noir, like, downtown city area thing, but they should have made that in, like, Mario-style graphics. With real people walking around, that's just weird. I don't like that. But if, by chance, I own a Nintendo Switch at the time this game releases, I will review Super Mario Odyssey. And then Metroid Prime 4 is the big new reveal, new announcement, even though they only had a logo, so we'll be seeing it probably next side of 2023. Right, I need something for the thumbnail.